Hello, my friends. How are you? I hope doing okay. Let's see what I'm up to today. I have this mushroom mold right here, and we're going to create in it. So I have some resin right here, and we're going to add some of this non-sinking glitter to the cup. And I have chosen this Sigwang blue. I'm just going to add 2 drops and stir it and see where my color is at. Because remember, we can add, but we can't take out. So I always want to start with just a few drops. And I'm making sure I get the colorant off the side of the cup. I don't know why this is sticking to the cup like it is. But it wants to sit on the side of the cup. The colorant does. So I'm making sure I get it off the sides of the cup really good, in the bottom of the cup. And then I'm going to go take it and put it in my bubble machine. And then I have some fairies right here that I cut out. They are so cute. These 2 little fairies are playing on top of a mushroom. And then I have these smaller fairies over here to the side. And I want to get 2 of these out as well. And I want to put the 2 bigger ones opposite each other in the jar. And then the 2 small ones opposite each other. And I have them all cut out. So I'm going to spritz some alcohol in the mold. And then I'm going to pour some of the blue color into the bottom part of the jar. And then I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm just going to heat that resin up and pop any bubbles that may be in it. Hopefully. And then I'm going to add some more to the jar. And then take a quick break and run my heat gun back over it. And then pour again. And I do this pretty much until I get the whole cup in the bottom part of the jar. So how's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. Have any of you created anything in this mushroom jar yet? I have had this jar for a while now, and I never created anything in it, even when the mushroom jars were real popular. I never created anything in the jar. But I tell you, I have seen many beautiful mushroom jars created by other people. So I was going through my molds and I came across it in my drawer and I said, I'm going to create something in this jar. I still have no idea what I'm going to do with the lid. I have so many ideas in my head, but I just can't pick one out. So I'm still undecided on the lid. And finally, we're going to scrape out the cup. And then I take these cups and I put them to the side and I just let that resin inside of that cup cure, and then I reuse my cups. And I'm going to hit it with the heat gun again. And I'm going to spritz some alcohol in the mold. And now we're going to go in with our fairies. I'm just going to slide it in here. Right like that. And then I'm going to take this little silicone tipped brush and make sure it is straight down in there. And then I'm going to turn it opposite end and drop the other big fairy or fairies down into the jar. And we're going to put them upside down in there because remember, you're working opposite direction most of the time in a mold. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it to the side opposite of the big fairies, and now I'm going to place one of the tiny fairies in the jar. Turn it upside down. I'm trying to find out which is the printed side. Both sides look black, but one side's blacker, and that's the side I want facing the outside of the jar. And then I have my other little fairy here, and I'm going to drop her in on the opposite side of the other small fairy. And I'm not going to drop them down in there yet, because if I do, they're just going to fall right to the bottom. So I'm just going to leave them sitting right here on the edge, and then when the resin gets sticky, then I'll slide them down into the jar. That one fell, so I'm picking it back up and laying it back there on the edge. Okay, now we're going to start on the bottom part of the fairy jar, and I'm going to add some of these flowers to the bottom part. These flowers are so pretty in resin. I got this jar of them off of Temu, and I have used them several times, and I absolutely love them. Now this jar sitting next to the jar I'm working on, it's a lid, but it doesn't go to this jar. I'm doing an experiment in this lid, and I should have taken it out of the video, but I forgot. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it is so you won't be wondering. I took puff paint and I dropped it inside of the little circles that are on top of the mushroom lid to see if it would work. And it's sitting over there curing. And I should have taken it out of the frame, but I didn't. I forgot. But that top doesn't go to this jar that we're creating. And I will let you know if that works. But I had to put it in there kind of thick, so I'm kind of more along the lines it's not going to work. But here we are demolding the bottom part of our jar. And since I've done 2 jars, I just demolded it this way. And here's the bottom part of our jar. There's the little fairy. So cute. And I love how this turned out. It is so beautiful. I'm going to put this paper towel behind it so maybe you can see it a little bit better. And there's our other little fairy. Okay, now here we're going to finish the top of our lid. And I'm going to add some of the non-sinking glitter in here. And we're going to use this Sig Wong Golden for the yellow for the top of the lid. Oh, the lid went flying. It'll just have to stay over there for now. I'm making sure I get it stirred up really good. Making sure I get it off of the colorant off of the cup and stir it back up because it had some on my silicone brush here, stick here. So I'm just making sure I get it stirred up really good. Okay, there's no more colorant on my stick here. So now I'm going to go put it in my Resiner's bubble machine. And now I'm back. And I'm going to spritz some alcohol in the mold. And some of it settled down there in the jar. So I'm taking my Q-tip and wipe it up. And now I'm going to go ahead and pour. And I pour halfway up the little indentions of the rings inside of the lid. And now I'm going to take my silicone tipped brush and I'm going to go around those rings and make sure there's no bubbles hiding on them. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and finish pouring. Making sure I get all the resin out of the cup. And then I'm going to set this cup to the side and let it cure, and then I'll use it again. And I'm going to take my silicone tipped brush and the other half of the circles in there, I'm going to run it along the lines of it. There's something on the tip here. Let me get it off. And make sure there's no bubbles on the upper half. And I did that so I wouldn't have to go all the way down into the jar to reach the other side of the circle. It would cause more bubbles to be in the resin. So I did half of the circle on the when I filled half the jar up, and then the other half of the circle to make the full circle on the other when I filled the jar up. And that just keeps me from going up and down in the resin, creating more bubbles. I'm going to spritz some alcohol in it, and then I'm going to cover it. And then I'll see you back. Okay, here we are, and I have this transparent sticker here, and it says believe. If I can get it off of there, come back here. I thought I was gone with that sticker, boy. Oh. Okay, I'm going to spritz it with some alcohol. And I'm going to set it down in here in the jar. And I poured a little bit of resin in there. But you didn't see me do that. And I'm just placing it down in there, making sure it's flat. No bubbles underneath it. And now I'm going to top the mold off with the resin. And this is just clear. It's no color to it. Making sure I scrape all the resin out of the jar. Or the cup. I'm going to use my heat gun. Okay, now we're ready to demold the top of the jar. And these mushroom lids are notorious for holding bubbles in them. But I think I did pretty good for not putting it in the pressure pot. And you can see that word believe really good. It's like it magnifies it. And it's really strange how it does that. Okay, and now I purchased this little light right here. And it came with these little crystal rocks with it. I got it at my local Dollar Tree. And this light, it fluctuates through colors. It'll go through like green, blue, pink, clear, yellow, or whatnot. So I'm just going to chunk it all in there with the light, put the lid on it, and then I will show it to you lit up at the end. You can see that believe, and they're really good. But we still have to do something to the top of this jar, because it just looks plain. So I get out these UV resin diamond glitters. And I'm just going to make some little dots, different colored dots inside of each circle. I quickly learned that if I pick it up and hold it, then the UV resin won't drip down the side of the jar. So now I'm just picking up different colors and making a little dot on the inside of that circle there. I didn't have any of the lids taken off, so I'm doing that one-handed. I'm doing pretty good too, ain't I? I messed that one up. So I end up wiping it off. And then here's all of them on there. And I'm reaching for my UV light. And then I'm going to cure those up right quick. And I'm not going to leave my light on it too long. Just enough to make it solid and not move. And then when I get done, I'll put it inside of my UV light and make sure it's all cured up really good. Okay, now I'm going to stick some of these diamond gems They're Swarovski crystals. I bought them in a kit. It was all kinds of different ones in there from Michaels. And they look really cute on the smaller circles on top of the jar. And I took the UV resin and went around the rings as well. And I'm just using this Let's Resin clear UV resin, placing it down on the smaller circle, and then picking up the gem and placing the gem on the jar, and then curing it. And here is the final piece. It is finished, and I am super stoked about it. It is so cute. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? For those of you who stayed through the entire video, I have no words to express how grateful I am to have you here. I really, truly appreciate your time, and I hope to see you in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye, my friends.